I wanted to talk about just for a little bit of why I personally think Qui-Gon is one of the smartest and best Jedi there ever was. And I could say you could possibly put him as like the best one that is the smartest perhaps, and like was ahead of his time, you could say, because of basically the time period that he was living in. Now, to start off, we know that Qui-Gon in the movies, he was only in The Phantom Menace. Of course, he was in a few episodes of the Clone Wars. Maybe he's gonna be in the Kenobi show. But however, the main movie, the only movie that he's in the most is The Phantom Menace. It's the only time we saw him. And of course, we know that he was a great teacher, a peacemaker, all these different titles he had. Now, and because he wasn't in many movies, he's not really on screen for as long as other characters such as Anakin or Obi-Wan or, even Yoda, because he's not even in the originals. And Qui-Gon had a lot of qualities that a lot of other Jedi didn't have, like I mentioned. And he wasn't the most powerful Jedi. I would say he wasn't the smartest, but he was combined. If you combine all of his things that he did well, it makes it to such a good person, a good Jedi. That is probably why they even had hope to begin with. One main reason that I'm saying that Qui-Gon is the smartest Jedi, I personally believe, in my opinion, was because even though he was a member of the Jedi Order at the time, along with Yoda, along with Mace Windu, he didn't always follow the rules, what they were saying, and of course, and because of that, he didn't agree sometimes with what they wanted, especially with training Anakin. And when he trained Anakin, it ultimately ended up being the right choice in the end. However, it was not up to him he was correct. It just was not up to him if Anakin would turn to the dark side. It was up to Anakin himself. And Qui-Gon always, he thought that the Jedi Order was just too strict about it sometimes. Like I mentioned before, he was ahead of his time. And if Qui-Gon had stayed alive to train Anakin, I can guarantee you 90% sure that Anakin would not have turned to the dark side, because he would have had the proper training. Obi-Wan was not properly, and he was not ready to train Anakin because he thought to him as a brother. However, Anakin, since he didn't really have a father growing up, he would have thought the Qui-Gon to be his father, and he would learn more from Qui-Gon, especially more because he had a way more experience than Obi-Wan did, especially at the time, mainly because of Obi-Wan being so much younger and still being an apprentice to Qui-Gon. One more reasons. We know that Qui-Gon, he discovered Anakin. He knew of the prophecy. He knew he had that maybe on the back of his mind, because all of a sudden he wouldn't just test Anakin for no reason. He could suspect something that was up with him, that made him special, that drew him to him. So by finding that out, he discovered the Chosen One, as well as the Sith. We got to remember, at that time, had not been around for 1,000 years. So that's something very, very smart that Qui-Gon had to be. Always having in his mind anything is possible. Remember that. And so out of all these reasons, it makes ultimately why Qui-Gon is probably one of the most greatest Jedi. And I'm really excited to see if we see him in the Kenobi show. It could just be flashbacks of maybe scenes we never got to see before the Phantom Menace with Obi-Wan in his training, or perhaps saying that he still believes in Anakin even though of the things that he has done. So that's something very exciting. The Kenobi show is getting closer to coming every single day, especially can't wait for that trailer. But in the meantime, I can't wait for Boba Fett as well. And that's it for this video. May the Force be with you.